I'm more tempted to kind of drop this pair now because it's been a while, and it seems like when it's going sideways, it won't work out in the end. Good morning everyone, welcome back. Monday morning once again. We're going to go through the charts. I do these kind of Forex weekly outlook every week. Go through all the pairs I follow and kind of see what I'm going to trade this week. And it's good for me and for you because you can know what I look for. And at the same time, I get clear on my chart and what I have to look for, which is awesome. So we'll go through the pairs. And to be honest, I didn't take any trade last week. There was just like new moves I could trade in the market. It just felt like choppy and some big move happened, but not as expected. So I didn't trade on that. Now this week we have a couple of pairs reaching some major levels, which is going to be good to look at. First one on this is AUD-CAD. So reaching 0.94, a support area. As you can see here, it's been bouncing there a few times in the past. So good level to look for bullish setups. And it's been pushing down pretty strongly, which is a good sign that price might reverse, because there are some buyers and sellers in the market to make it move that strong. Next, AUD-JPY has been doing what I thought the pair would do, which is going back to a upper zone, because keep in mind we've been making a low over here, so just basically a low over here, okay? And then we went above, came back down to retest the low, came back up, came back down, and then we broke the low. So I said if we're going to close below this, sign that we're going to go back down. And if in fact that's pretty much what happened. So you will see right here that we broke the low, closed below the low on this candlestick. And then after that, I said what you can do is you can look for retracements back to the level. And I traded something similar on this. I traded kind of a mini retracement on a 1 hour chart that was a break-even trade. But if you were to look at this, and it doesn't really work with the strategy I was trading, but you can see price here pushed above, made this engulfing candle, which I would not trade because it didn't broke outside the Montreal band. The engulfing candle right here on the 4 hour chart. But still, if you were to kind of deviate a little bit from the plan and the strategy, this would have been a good trade. So depending on what type of personality you are, you might have some variation on the plan I trade. You could look for less confirmation than I want to see both candlestick breaking outside the Montreal band. And if you wonder what I trade, link below to video on that. But you could have traded that if that was part of your plan with less rules. Keep in mind you have less confluence. We're not 2 candlestick break outside the Montreal band, but only 1. But in the end, it's your call. You decide what you do with that. Okay, I'm just showing you what happened on that pair. Now we need to wait for price to hit. Maybe it's gonna come back to the 82 level, if not 74.5. Those are a resistance and support area that could be good. And I'll wait for this pair. So nothing to do for now. AUD-NZD is back at a support area. We've said last week we were a little bit far from the zone, right over here. Now this week was a bearish week, right straight at the zone at 1.086, and we can look for bullish setup there. Okay, so perfect place. I'll go on lower time frame. So far we had a setup here, but I always want price to move above the high. If we're not above the high, my entry is untriggered, and I'm not going to trade, because otherwise it's going to just fall back down, and it's going to be not reliable. So that's why I wait for that. Second, I get the confluence, which is price going above the high for bullish trade and price going below the low for bearish trade. That's what's up with that pair. We'll wait for bullish up on this. Pretty interesting. AUD-USD is now outside of this. What we can do again, like on AUD-JPY, is to wait for retracements. So nothing so far. We're just going down, but we'll have to wait for price to, like what I'm thinking is something like this over here. So price will move higher. Probably move higher to the upper band of the Montreal band on the lower time frame, and then you look for bearish setups, so break outside the Montreal band at the top, engulfing candle, stop loss above the high, entry below the low, and you are at risk of whatever you want. I do 3 to 1, you can do less, and I also take partial profit, of course. But that's it for the pair. CAD CHF back to support area. I like to see that over at 0.74, off like this right now. And we can look for bullish setup on these time frame, the lower time frame. Okay. And I've been asked quite a lot why I don't take trades on the daily chart or the weekly chart. First of all, I find it's kind of too long of a time frame. And second of all, I found a trade on the daily chart to not be too reliable. I found the win rate to be quite bad, and that's why I don't trade them. But if you want to trade them, just test and evaluate, make sure you understand the stats, and then you can trade that. Euro AUD is breaking above a recent high, so more signs it's going to be bullish. So this pair is starting to behave better. Like I said in the past, I didn't like how it was behaving. Now it's much better. If we're gonna break above and make some new highs and come back, then we can trade trend. If you are a trend trader, perfect opportunity there. That's awesome. But you're gonna have to wait for the breakout and then trade on these pullback that come after. But for now, we just have to wait, and I won't trade that one. EuroCAD still at the support area at 1.50, the round number, and we had no bullish setup so far. Okay, we had a bearish setup here. Not really a setup, but no bullish setup so far. Okay, this is way too big of a wick on, let me see, on this time frame right here. So I'm not gonna trade that, and we just have to wait now. But good place to look for bullish setups, and I'll keep this one flagged. Euro GBP is at a resistance area once again. We're not quite there yet in the past week, but now getting close to it. And usually price sometimes does like this small move to the downside first, and sometimes you miss it or you have no setup, and then you can always re-enter later. Okay, so that's what I'll wait for, a re-entry. So price will go back to the upper band of the Bollinger Band on any time frame, like 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, doesn't matter. And then you look for your setup. Okay, same thing I look for. Euro USD now is at a support area, so 1.17 to 1.14 again. Doesn't change too much, but we could look for bullish setup still. I'm more tempted to kind of drop this pair now because it's been a while, and it seems like when it's going sideways, it won't work out in the end. So I'm not gonna trade that, it's getting too long. But if you want to keep looking for a trade, you can do it. Keep in mind they might be more short term, like this trade over here. That's definitely a short term trade, but up to you what you decide to do. I'm gonna step away for now and look for better pairs that have more opportunities and kind of better ways of moving. GBP CHF is between two zones like GBP CAD, pretty much the same thing that they're doing. Again, you can look for these retracement all the way to the support area, which would now be a resistance area. That could be good. I won't necessarily do it unless we have a nice setup, but that's it for the pair. And same thing goes for GBP, GPY, GBP NZD is coming back. This one, interestingly enough, to a resistance area. This is a very tight area, so if you're going to trade that and sell on this, keep in mind you have to have a really small take profit. Okay, so I don't really like how this is behaving. So I have GBP NZD on my watch list, but I didn't trade it for a very long time, and we'll see what that is about in the coming week. JPUSD is kind of at the support. I feel like now it's broken down. We can more look for bearish move on the pair. I won't trade this small bearish move unless we go below and then have a nice retracement, and then we can sell on that. But it's kind of ambiguous right now, so not the best pair to trade for sure. NZD CAD is back at the support area at 0.87, and I'll look for a bullish trade on this. So far we got nothing, except this single fin candle not breaking the Bollinger Band, so not valid for me. But the other ones are doing not much, so we have to wait. But pretty good level, flagged, of course. GBP CAD is doing some sideways action near the 1.29 support area. Not doing much so far, but we can look for bullish setup. One's going to be, I think, closer to the zone. Now it's a bit far, and I don't like to trade that. But now it seems like price might pull back down and make some nice setup that we can trade with the Bollinger Band. So you have to wait a little bit, I feel, until price gets to the zone, because it's a bit far, and look for bullish setup. USDJPY is at the zone here once again, doing some sideways market. Not nice to trade that because it's like really tight. Like the candlestick have been really doing some small moves, so that's usually what I avoid to trade a little bit more. So not much to talk about in this pair. And finally, USD SJD is between two zones, so you have to wait. And I'm expecting price, of course, to hit this resistance area at 1.39. We're not there yet, but it's gonna take some time, and we can look for bearish setup at this level. Okay, past week was a bullish one, and we'll see what happens next. We've gone through all the pairs. This has been pretty simple once again. I'm heading to Mexico when this is going to be published, so the same day. And it's going to be pretty interesting to explore and travel and still trade. And keep in mind, I have the trading assistant now. So this is basically alerting me of my trade in real time when they happen. When the setup happens on any time frame that I open on MT4, I get an alert on my phone. I see the chart, I see what position size I should enter, and all the parameters. If it's in alignment with the things I talked about today, so the zones, I'll take the trade. If not, I won't take the trade. And that's pretty simple. So no chart time pretty much. I can travel freely, go outside. The only thing I need is MT4 open on a VPS, which is always open anyway, and a SIM card to get internet anywhere I travel. So that's a really good development that I'm really proud of. If you want to see this and grab it, link below of course, all the details there. If you see anything interesting to trade this week, let other people know down below in the comment. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Ciao.